Hi guys, I wanted to come quickly to talk about resistance and flow. I just had, you know how you have those great ideas, or not really even ideas, they're just like thoughts that rush through you after a good long shower to clear the mental muck as well as the physical muck. And the people in, I guess, in my audience and in my membership is always asking about resistance and flow, and I'm really feeling on top of it as always, because if you're always growing, if you're always going out there and doing work, if you are leveling up and in this world of personal development, you always hit resistance, and it's not a linear thing, it's always multidimensional. In some areas of my work I'm hitting resistance, in other areas I'm finding my flow and trying to weave my way through that as a constant and embracing that. And I was in the shower and I was feeling this rant coming on, and I'm like, I better finish the shower so I can actually put it out there, because I can feel like this, I'm going to explore this deeper into my Muse Mama membership. So if you don't know me, I am Brenda. I'm an artist. I inspire women to dare to take their big dreams seriously, to live a life of joyful purpose in connection with their creativity, because they know that that is the seed, that is the source of all of that is calling them to bring into the world, right outside and beyond mamahood, which is why I created and am passionate about my Muse Mama space. It's a village of ambitious and spiritual women who can gather to kind of find their way, find their clarity, find their courage, find their connection to their own creativity, as well as connecting to the collective of creative and ambitious and amazing women who are out there trying to find their way through resistance and sabotage and doing the creative work and doing all of these things that make them the best full expression of who they are, so that they can bring that back to their motherhood. So if you're watching this live, definitely say hi and comment #YayLove below and give me the heart shower so that this can go out to more people. I'm going to be chatting through two ways really that I've realized, if you're here, and this will be super helpful, about when you're hitting resistance and trying to find your way to flow and you're just feeling stuck and you're just feeling constantly, you know, that horrible walk where you're like walking through quicksand and you're dragging your feet, and that no matter how much you try, you just can't get yourself going, especially the resistance to start something. And especially if you've been stuck for a long time. Hi Rachel. Yes, so, and I think you go through this in general where you just have days where you're just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing and I just can't be bothered, and then you suck, and then all the voices tell you how you continue to suck and you're such a loser, and you're just not capable of doing anything, and who are you to think that you could do better, and all of those things. And the first thing I want to say, more than anything, if you watch to the end, there's going to be two different ways of looking at it, and I really believe you've got to have both. And if you resonate with me and you resonate with my artwork, you will see this is how I deal with it constantly, because when you're a creative professionally, you kind of have to be on all the time and be creative all the time. So my kind of creative cycle and dealing with resistance is almost compressed. Aeroplane is to the first one, and if this idea of resistance and everything resonates with you, can you comment below #resistance sucks? And I totally get it, because then I know that you are hearing me and you resonate with what I'm saying. Yes, #resistance sucks, because I get it. And the first thing is to really understand. I see how hard it is when you're in a dark tunnel and it feels like there's no light at the end of it, or it's too far away, and you can't even if you see a glimmer of it, it's actually kind of worse, because you can't move your feet and you can't walk towards it, and you can't just bring yourself, and it just feels all kinds of hard, you know. It's more than just yourself holding yourself back. And then there's a whole other thing about creativity being a habit, which is what I believe, and cultivating that habit and maintaining that momentum is a lot easier than when you're stuck. But that doesn't really help you right now. Right now you're stuck, you can't get started, you think about it and it keeps nagging at you, and yet you do nothing about it. and then you feel like you're losing any creativity you have left, and all you're doing is just robotic actions and what you just have to survive. And that's not the way to live a life of joyful purpose, right? And so this is counterintuitive, but really sometimes it is so hard. I give up. I surrender and immerse myself in that muck and hard and the dark tunnel, and basically, as I say to my 4-year-old, you get all the sads out, right? And you just sit there, and that's why I had my long shower, and I just immerse myself in it and allow the voices and be like, yeah, I do suck, and what creativity do I have, and what do I make that is of value, and who am I to think that I could show up on the internet and talk about creativity, and what do I have to show for myself, and just like really just into the you know how like that kid who having a tantrum and then they finally go bleh, and they're sitting in the middle of the mud puddle and they're just like all the tears. Basically my goal is to reach that point where I'm just like in the surrender, because as horrifying as that is, because and I get it, because you get scared that you're going to forever stay in there, and if you really fully release and allow that, and to really sink that deep into that thing that you've been resisting, which is trying to pull you under, you feel like you might be stuck there forever. The thing I want to say, and from my multiple times I've done this, and I am not immune to it at all, is that sometimes this is why you need this part, this surrender part, because then that's when you can finally, because you give up, you surrender, you allow and you release, really, you just finally let go of all the burdens of the shoulds and you have tos and why didn't you and obligations and responsibilities and you just let it go, and you're sitting there and you're just like releasing all of that stuff and allowing that voice that is like constantly on your shoulder, which is why it's like oppressing you in the first place, and just letting them have their say. And then when you finally can let go of all those burdens of shoulds and have tos and missed opportunities and why didn't you do that and you should have done that earlier and all that thing, and then once that is gone, you can almost say, you know what, yeah, so what, I suck and everything, and I should have done better, and all of those things going around in your head. If this rings true for you, definitely comment #tunnel, because I totally feel it, and you immerse yourself in it. But also surrender to resistance. It's when you release all of that there's this sense of freedom to actually, you know what, now that I've got all of that out and I just shouldn't bother and all that kind of thing, I'm just going to be able to just play. I'm just going to be free, and I let go of the shoulds and your have tos and your obligations and your responsibilities, so that you can just experiment. And experimenting is where things fail, because that's the whole point of an experiment, to find the point of failure and to explore and just to have fun and just be like, this is not for anything. This is just because I am, and this is where you hit the second point. If you're watching the replay of this, definitely #below yay replay, so that I know that you're on and that you're totally connecting with what I'm saying, because the more you comment, the more you give me your love heart showers, this message can go out to more people, because I totally get it, because when you're in that resistance and stuck and sabotage, you end up just scrolling on Facebook and feeling like everybody else is in flow and doing amazing things, and you're the only one that's stuck in the dark tunnel, and you're not. I want you to know that you're not, and sometimes you need to surrender to it so that you can find the freedom to just find your fun and play again. And the only way sometimes to find that is because you hit, for me, this other side. This is the other side of dealing with resistance and flow. You know, if you're surrendering to it and still not feeling that freedom of letting go of the shoulds and the have tos and the obligations, then it's probably because, you know what, you've hit this point where you're just not fully really immersing yourself in all of it and feeling all of that stuckness, and then, you know what, getting fully frustrated and fully angry and like suck in all of that yelling and frustration and stuck and just, aren't you sick and tired of feeling sick and tired of being in this place? Are you not super frustrated at being frustrated and being stuck? Are you not sick of throwing yourself self-pity parties? And then you gotta hit this point where you're just like raging and angry, and then really compress all of that pressure and all those obligations and all of that frustration into like like that increased pressure to make a diamond, but really make it into like rocket fuel to propel you out of that muck and mud. Because sometimes when you're stuck for so long, it's going to take a whole lot more energy to really push yourself out. Hashtag rocket fuel if that's what you need right now. And just like really gather all of that frustration, because if you weren't feeling that freedom and fun, because sometimes that resistance and sabotage you're feeling is because you're feeling burdened by all those shoulds and have tos, but sometimes it's just because you're stuck and you really needed to find a discipline and the consistency, and really you just need to get sick of yourself, of being stuck and being the person who's doing here, and you know what, you want change, right? You're not the kind of person who hangs out here. You're a muse mama. You're a muse mama because you are not happy to settle and just be grateful for where you're at, and can't you just like accept things as they are and not wish for more? No, you're a muse mama because you're sick and tired of being stuck in this place, because you know that there is something missing, and you need to suck in all of that, compress it and hold it and use it as rocket fuel to fuel you out and pop you out, because there's I guess if you're in a mud, there'll be this vacuum that holds you in, because as you know, when the longer you stay in that stuck place, the harder it is to get out. Like quicksand, you're sinking deeper, and you're going to need a lot more energy to push you out and pop you out of that and propel yourself out of that, so that you can finally get that momentum and actually finally do something. And this is where doing something huge and drastic and humongous and like a quest, this is when people run marathons. This is when they join boot camps. This is when they when I do 100-day painting, a spiral a day painting project, to really basically, because I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I'm sick and tired of being frustrated and stuck, and talking myself through this, and being gentle and loving and kind, which is all the things that you need, especially when you're first in that darkness and stuff. But other times you need to kick your own ass and get out. And I know how hard and how easy it is for me to say, and yet how hard it is to kick your own ass, which is why you need to be surrounded by other people who totally get the whole muse mama juggle and weaving of babies, as well as your own work and the work that you're being called to do, and as well as using your creativity and recognizing that you're in resistance and recognizing that you're in sabotage. And this is why I wanted to come on here and just share these two perspectives, these two ways of seeing where you're at, so that you can find your way through, because you can't avoid resistance. Every time you resist resistance is when you make it bigger and you make it harder and you make it the friction a lot more, and then you're going to find yourself stuck in the same place again, and then you spiral around in the same spot. What we want is to spiral up to the next level, right? And to really work yourself through, because on the other side of resistance, and this is why I work through it all the time, because I know on the other side of resistance is amazing flow. Not just good flow, which you can get generally if you maintain your creativity as a habit and you cultivate that relationship and connection, which is what I talk a lot about in my Muse Mama membership, which I will drop. If you loving this idea of being connected to other women who totally get your weaving of work and art and babies, no matter how old your babies are, hashtag Muse Mama below, and I will give you details, because it's currently open for this next round of intake of members at this current price, and then it will probably more than double in the next round as well, especially in August after my art fair. I'm not sure when I will get the intuitive hit when it does. So hashtag Muse Mama if that is you, because you recognize that you are not happy to settle for just I guess that's just the way it is. No, you're a Muse Mama, and you're no, I will not be stuck in this place. I will find my freedom. I will find my fun. I will find my play as well as my purpose, and there is purpose in your play. And you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you actually want to do something about it and hit the other side, which is amazing flow. This is where creativity almost overwhelms you and rushes through you, and then it takes all of what you need to really cultivate that and to create the amazing thing that comes through when that flow hits. And it's a continuous cycle. This is the life of a creative, even if it's professional or not, and it's just part of the cycle. It's part of life to go through these cycles, but knowing how to do that, sometimes you need people around you and community around you, which is why after my mastermind and this weekend, it was amazing, and feeling fully in flow. And I recognized that resistance was coming up, which is why I was working through it. I have my showers, I have my tools. I'll be sharing a lot more of this, and I just wanted to drop this in here just quickly. It wasn't supposed to go on forever. And so if this resonates with you, if you needed hashtag Muse Mama, because that's what you are, and hashtag resistance, embrace the resistance. That's what we need. Hashtag comment below, hashtag embrace the resistance, because that's the only way you're going to be able to work through it. I'm going to be exploring a lot more of this in my Muse Mama, so that's when we do our longer workshops, because I can't do that here, and also because I've got other things to do right now and client work to get to, as well as my babies. So I hope that that was insightful and helpful, and if you are in that resistance and stuck place, know that you're not alone. I'm here. You are here watching this for a reason, and that if you need to immerse yourself and surrender to it, embrace it. Resistance can be a gift, and I talk a lot more about that in my Lies of Resistance booklet, which is available in the membership if you were looking into that. And so if you're in that stuck place, know that you're not alone. Surrender, find your fun and your play, but with purpose, and release all those shoulds and have tos. But at the same time, if you're still feeling stuck and been stuck for a long time, you need to suck in all of that rage and suck in all of that resistance and frustration and fears, and make it like into a ragey anger ball that becomes a rocket fuel to really propel you out of that stuckness, because that's the only way you're going to be able to get out. You've got to be sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I know it's easy for me to say, and then I know it's hard to go through, and yet you totally can. If you're here, you are totally more than capable. You are already amazing, and if you're being called to do more, it's because you can, and you have a gift inside you that only you can take out. And so you can dare, I'd always keep saying this, dare to take that big dream seriously. Because only then, only you can really pull that out from that idea land, that kind of invisible idea land, and bring it into reality. And we need that. I mean, God would not have given it to you unless you were the one that He has chosen to bring it out into real life. And so I hope that was helpful. And hashtag below Muse Mama if you want to find out more about Muse Mama. At the current pricing, I just realized like I was supposed to go up the price, but anyway, it worked out really, really well. It is currently at the lowest price, and it's going to double in price for the next round. So it's currently open for I think a handful more members before it switches, because it's automatic in the software in the back end, to double in price really. And so there's a handful of spaces left. I'm looking, Muse Mamas, we are all looking for you if you want to find a way to connect with other ambitious and spiritual women who want to use their creativity to bring what they're being called out into the world, whether that big dream is just to plant a rose garden, or whether it is to end poverty and all of that in between. And this is not just some other mothers group where we just talk about babies all the time, because no, we have other things to talk about. We're talking about resistance, and I'm going to be exploring all of this resistance and flow idea as a continuous thing really. But because of this big idea that I got in my shower, I want to be working on that in the Muse Mama membership. So if you're interested in that, then definitely comment hashtag Muse Mama below, and I will give you the details. And if not, just drop your favorite heart emoji and know that you're not alone. And I'm sending you all my creative juju, and I hope that this was really super helpful and valuable, and I will see you next time for more creativity chats. Bye.